So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's interactive workshop, Climate Resilience Blueprints, a first look at NEUROCLIMA's digital solution. Thank you for joining us today online. We're very excited to have you with us. My name is Cristina Deligiani from Trunic, part of the Very Impact Group, and I will be the moderator for this session. Over the next 90 minutes, we will be diving into the work that we have been doing at NEUROCLIMA, a Horizon-funded project that is redefining how we think about climate resilience and climate change adaptation. So NEUROCLIMA and Beatrice Cobo from Polimi will be sharing more information on that. Is developing a web-based digital nervous system, an innovative platform that brings together artificial intelligence, semantic analytics, chatbots, online deliberation, e-learning, creative, interactive tools and toolkits. So our goal is to empower policymakers, journalists, citizens, educators, with practical toolkits to actually design effective collaborative climate change adaptation strategies. In today's session, we will be introducing you to the NEUROCLIMA approach and the creative arts toolkit we're developing to inspire action. We will be offering you an exclusive first look at the early stage mock-ups of our digital platform. We'll be sharing insights on how creativity, storytelling, and interactive design can accelerate climate change adaptation action. And most importantly, we will need your feedback. We'll be inviting you to share your thoughts, your ideas, your reflections, and help us shape the final solution. You will also be meeting members of the NEUROCLIMA team, designers, researchers, developers behind this exciting initiative. And with that, let's get started. So I'm very pleased to introduce you to Beatrice Combo from the Polimi group, the Politecnico di Milano, that is the coordinator of this project. So Beatrice, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Cristina, for your introduction, and thank you everyone for being here. So I'm going to share my screen right now. As also Cristina was mentioning before, today we're going to have a first look at our digital solution, and the title of this workshop is Climate Resilience Blueprint. And here you can see all the project partners that are involved in this effort, this collective effort. This is the agenda for today. So after the kind and warm introduction and welcome from Cristina, we will have this introduction to NEUROCLIMA, and then we will present you our toolkits, as Cristina was mentioning before, either the creative arts toolkits that we are developing and some prototypes of the NEUROCLIMA digital solution. So again, welcome to everyone. We are very glad to have you here. And this is, let's say, the main aim of the NEUROCLIMA project. And as also Cristina was mentioning before, NEUROCLIMA focuses on designing, implementing, and evaluating innovative user-centered educational strategies. Our aim, indeed, is to promote behavioral change, yes, and strengthening climate resilience. And of course, central to this project and approach, there is an alliance digital solution together with some creative toolkits that we are also developing. So this is the website of NEUROCLIMA. So this is our homepage. And of course, you can also find more information about the project in our social network that are currently and intensively updated with news and comments coming from our meetings, but also from directly from our research. This is the overall, let's say, consortium. So we are a group of 15 associations, 15 partners. So we as Polimi are coordinating the project. And as you can see, we are quite spread across Europe, having representatives from many countries, like Ireland, France, Spain, Portugal, Malta, Greece, Belgium, and Cyprus, and Finland, which is up there. So, as I was mentioning before, the aim of NEUROCLIMA is to develop this digital nervous system, leveraging AI technologies to connect policymakers, public institutions, and the community of citizens, but also educators and youth workers, for instance. One of the, let's say, main elements that are, let's say, at the basis of the NeuroClima project and at the basis of the development of our solution is the use and the study of social tipping points, specifically environmental social tipping points. This will be quite relevant also for the exploration of the digital solution that you will see later on. But indeed, what is relevant in NeuroClima is to leverage social tipping points for connecting our users with the real problem related to the climate adaptation. Indeed, the social tipping points are shared for collective perception of problem and moments in which a specific problem related in this case to environment becomes obvious to a good amount of people to suggest a need for action. And we are aiming to leverage on these elements for pushing people to change their behavior and for acting. So as a very briefly, let's say, description of what the NeuroClima solution is aimed to deliver at the end and what we're working on is a diagram that shows how the design of the integrated solution is actually using different tools. So the tools that we were also mentioning so far. So we will have an artificial intelligence powered search and bot. We will have a new learning platform. We will have also tools of participatory design, interactive storytelling, and creative expression, as well as an e-deliberation platform. And all these tools will contribute together to allow different kinds of users to understand, be more aware of climate change adaptation, and of course also to promote action and decision-making and policy-making on different perspectives. How are we going to deal with it? Let's say that in our project, we are also dealing with two main pilot activities spread all over many countries, like have 6 countries dealing with pilots. The first pilot will be dedicated to target journalists and content creators and policymakers in using our digital solution to look for content related to climate change and also for building dialogues with citizens through the deliberation platform. And the other pilot that we are developing and that we're going to launch quite soon, it targets, let's say, other kind of users like students, educators, and citizens, and also youth workers, like all the area related to education and engagement. And here we will also use, together with digital tools, also some creative expression tools and participatory design tools that you will see also later in the description given by my colleagues. So this is more or less the overview of the NeuroClima project. This was quite brief, but I hope it gave a little bit of an overview of what we are doing, and I leave the stage to my colleagues for further explanation and description.
Thank you so much, Beatrice, for the overview of the project. It's not a complicated project. It's a project that has a lot of toolkits for journalists, policymakers, educators, citizens to actually use. And without any further ado, let's move to Mr. Stefanos Alevizos from ESS NGO, our host actually today. He will be presenting the creative arts toolkit that we're actually working on at the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christina, for introducing and for moderating this very interesting workshop, I think. A small parenthesis between Mrs. Beatrice Combo and the very interesting part of presenting the solution that NeuroClima will present is a toolkit that we will create on creative art that we will include many ways of so as to help people learn about climate change and help them sharpen their abilities and their and their knowledge in general towards a climate adaptation. I will ask politely from Beatrice to stop sharing so as for me to start sharing my presentation inconvenience. So why this toolkit? Since all the project is towards a digital solution, why we are going to use also some other traditional ways of learning, such as reading books, such as movies, such as theater, such as dance, and such as music. Why? Because we believe, because we believe that this is the best way of, it's an easy way for people to learn, to have fun and learn. Surveys always agree that in this path, we will have positive results regarding the outcome of knowledge of climate change adaptation. Secondly, you heard from Mrs. Combo that we have many participant countries: Greece, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, Cyprus, many countries. So think Ireland. So think that these playful, creative activities may be useful also for different cultural environments. We will not use in some of them the language, such as the dance or the music. We will not need um, uh, the language, and of course, art in general has no borders. It's the same art in Greece. It may be expressed in different way, but it's the same art and with the same uh, uh, blueprint. So um, now we are in the phasing of collecting the best creative art methods for people to learn about climate change and to help them adjust to the climate change, to adapt to the climate change situations. Till now, this toolkit will be ready on December. We have much time in front of us. If you want to participate in the formulation of the toolkit, and if you have some knowledge or etc., it will be more than happy for us to hear your voice and incorporate your work or your knowledge in this toolkit. Till now, we have detected three methods of art that have been used in the climate change adaptation procedure with positive results. And this is somehow today that I'm going to present to you very, very shortly, because as we told you, the good part is afterwards. First of all, cinema. We are going to use cinema, movies, either full movies or short movies or clips from the platforms on the internet that can be used for learning purposes. It relies, my colleagues from mental health field will understand me. It has its roots on cinema therapy, a very popular now, a very popular way of that we use for therapeutic purposes. I don't think only cinema with dialogues, etc., etc., but think also all these silent cartoons, for example, Tom and Jerry or other that they don't use. We don't need subtitles, etc., and we can use them for learning purposes. Cinema therapy till now, based on our literature review, has been used to deal with eco-anxiety, grief, and other stress issues related to climate change, and follows a very concrete methodological approach, the assessment to see what we want to deal, what we want people to learn by the cinema therapy session, and then to select relevant films. There are some films that are fully connected and linked to the issue of climate change. I put here ice age, for example, but you can use everything in a metaphoric way. You will see the example that I have selected for the internal purposes, regarding the project, and for today's presentation. Then we have the film viewing. We can see the film either once or two. It's the facilitator that decides based on the guidelines that he or she will give to the participants, and we can distribute a certain form to note things that the facilitator wants to discuss with the viewers, debriefing and reflection to discuss character metaphors in relation to climate displacement or resilience, and then to have some creative activities. For example, in projects related to human rights, we created short videos. We created again the movie, but with different end. Or we selected certain parts of the movie, and we gave new dialogues and new focus for the viewers. As an example for this workshop, I selected, so as to honor also my European and Greek heritage. We selected a very famous myth, the myth of Odysseus and his journey from Ithaca to Troya, and then from Troya to Ithaca, and all the dangers that he faced till he reached Ithaca, his home. Think Ithaca as the dream place regarding environmental issues, and the journey of Odysseus with Scylla and Charybdis, with the sirens, with all the dangers, Circe, Calypso, all the dangers that he faced. Think as the dangers that climate change provokes to us, and then we can discuss. The viewers can give a meaning to these dangers, and then to discuss it and find the safest route, the safest to have a safe journey towards Ithaca, the dream place of our climate resilience and free from stress place. This is the first activity that will be in details be presented in our toolkit. Then we have a very famous in the States, but not a lot in Europe, because we tend to forget books. We have the bibliotherapy, book therapy. We are using stories. It has been used for climate change training purposes to foster emotional to make people adapt better and learn how they can use their feelings and their thoughts about climate change, how they can use them in a positive way, so as to adapt to all these climate change situations. We have sorry for the mistake, two ways of working: the psychodynamic Freud model and an intervention model, and the steps. We can use either all the book, as in the movies, all the book, all the story, or we can pick certain certain part of the stories. We read them, we read the part, we read the book, or we encourage people to read it, and then we start discussing with the participants about the problem that this part or this book note. We are trying in a certain way, we are trying to make these aspects of the story symbols in general, not exactly in our stories. Then we have some playful activities, and then we have the evaluation, but also we have the learning outcome. For example, again, I use the myth just here for our workshop, a myth about how Hades kidnapped Persephone, and all this climate change that this kidnapping caused. and we can use it regarding climate change. We can use it regarding the feelings of people towards the phases of the nature, the ecological grief, how all things and climate change tends to be part of a cycle of renewal and general the laws of nature. And then we can have many activities, letters to spring, but we can also have some inspiring activities, such as to send a letter to the protagonists, to the heroes, or to rewrite the story, etc., etc. And then finally, it's my last thing to say. Finally, we have the creative writing toolkit. It has been used so as to empower individuals to imagine an ideal future regarding climate issues. We can start discussing about we can start by discussing about general climate issues and to find some emotional signal, something that will provoke feelings to the participants. Then we leave them alone to think about that. Then they are trying to make their own story based on the questions and the feelings that these questions provoked, and then we can either share these stories with the rest of the group or to keep them for us and discuss in general. This is one of the activity. This is the one. I think I'm out of time. In general, we have till now 3 activities. Please, if some of you are experienced in creative art toolkits, methodologies that you can share with us, please share it. Please contact with us and we will make sure to incorporate it to our toolkit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Stefane, we have questions whether how people can be involved and contribute to that. I urge you to subscribe to the NeuroClima newsletter and also follow our page on LinkedIn, because we will be announcing other workshops and other interesting masterclasses where you can actually be part of it and co-create the tool and anything and the toolkits with us. And without further ado, let me introduce you to Mr. Tassos Kanelos from ITML, one of the partners of the consortium for the NeuroClima project. Tassos will be introducing us to the NeuroClima solution, the users, the use cases, main objectives, and the NeuroClima portal, along with the NeuroClima lens. Tassos, the floor is yours.
Hello from our side. Thank you, Christina. Let me just quickly share my screen. Okay, hope this is visible.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, thank you. So in this session, we will be taking a first look in the digital solution that we are planning to develop for the NeuroClima project. Just to give you some background context, we have recently concluded the design phase, the main design phase of our solution, and we have initialized the development phase. So at this point in time, we are in a good situation to present to you our concepts and our ideas and rationale behind the design of the solution, and also introduce you to some early mock-ups that we have put together of the various tools and applications of our solution. So our solution is in fact composed of a series of tools. I intend to start from an overview of the entire solution and its main principles, and then we will go into more detail and look at some of the individual tools. So that being said, we'll continue and start from the main objective that our digital solution aims to fulfill, which is about supporting and sustaining systemic transformations and citizen engagement towards societal climate resilience. So this is a rather challenging endeavor, and in order to tackle this, we adopted a user-centered approach. So we started by identifying some main use cases that we want our solution to address. And this helps us design a solution that is more effective towards its intended users. So our main use cases are, the first one is about journalism, the second one is about policy making, and the third one is about education. And in each of these cases, we have also identified some primary intended users that we expect to be using our solution. So in the first case, we expect that journalists and content creators in general want to produce new informative content on climate change to inform the public. So we are trying to help them achieve this by offering certain tools in our solution. Then in the case of policy makers that we have identified as the second principal users, we want to support them in forming new legislative propositions on climate change that can be effective and socially acceptable. And finally, in the case of educators, we want to assist them in creating new educational material on climate change that can also be effective in increasing climate literacy. So that being said, after analyzing the use cases and the identified user types, we recognize that there is a kind of common theme, some commonalities across all these user types and use cases. So all our primary users, we assume that they are seeking content related to climate and climate change. But that content needs to meet certain conditions. First off, it needs, of course, to be relevant to the topic of interest at hand of its user. So we need to provide relevant information. Secondly, we need to provide valid and accurate information. This is a need of all users, especially considering the misinformation out there in the internet. It is really important to address issues of climate change and climate resilience to be able to provide validated information. The third point here that we need to address is social impact of information that we are providing. All of these user types, they want to have an effect in society. So the information we provide should have a social impact towards the audience that each user is addressing. And finally, the information we are presenting to our users, it needs to be comprehensible. This is particularly relevant to more complex information and knowledge, such as legal documents and policies, or scientific publications, for example. We need to get this information to reach a broader audience, so we also want to help in this. So recognizing this commonality across all user types, we established this core common functionality, which is present in all our use cases, where we can support our users in searching for valid, accurate, comprehensible, and socially impactful information. And we do this by providing two complementary tools for information discovery. The first one is a structured search user interface, very much like Google search that you might be accustomed to, or the Amazon marketplace or e-shops, for example. The second tool is a conversational user interface in the form of a chatbot, which is something like ChatGPT, which might also be familiar to you. So we are planning to offer a combination of these two tools to help our users find and retrieve the information they are looking for using different ways according to their specific needs each time. But of course, in its use case, we also have distinguishing factors. Each user has a different ultimate objective. So we are also considering this full spectrum, let's say, of the use cases and see where else we can help. In the case of journalism and journalists and content creators, after these users can access our tools to collect information for producing new informative content on climate change, they can then turn to third-party external publishing media for publishing this content so that they can reach broad audiences and use social media, blogs, news media, printed media, for example. In the second use case that is related to policy making, policymakers can retrieve information from the information discovery tools and then use this information to form new legislative propositions on climate change. But then we are offering another supplementary tool to further assist policy making. This tool is an online deliberation platform that policymakers can use to initiate discussions with the public and with citizens, and also ask citizens to vote on specific topics that they choose. So the aim of this is to have policymakers collecting public opinion and help them steer the final stages of the legislative process. And also at the same time, in the context of our project and our solution, we are also planning to collect the public opinion data and accumulate it in the NEUROCLIMA archive so that it can remain available as a resource for any future analysis that might be related to policymaking. Then in our last use case for education, again, in this case, educators can retrieve the information they are seeking by using our two tools, and then they can use this raw or primitive information to generate new educational material. Also, in this case, we are offering another tool to assist them in this, an e-learning platform that they can actually use for generating the educational material in the form of e-learning courses, so that then it can be exposed to their students or learners in general, and have an interactive form of learning, either in a form of a classwork or in a hybrid environments or in remote learning environments. So we also aim to be able to offer measurable learning outcomes of this process by implementing learning analytics in our e-learning platform. And then at the same time, especially for younger learners, we are offering some playful interactive storytelling learning modules that can help the younger audiences be more engaged in learning experience by introducing gamified experiences. So both of these tools, their ultimate aim is to improve literacy on climate change adaptation topics. Here is an overview or a summary of all three use cases and the related user types, and a mapping of our applications in each use case and according to which user they are addressing. We have also established a different name for each of these tools that we will use in the next presentations to refer to them. So the structured search user interface is called NEUROCLIMA Lens. The conversational UI or chatbot is called NEUROCLIMA Bot. Then the online deliberation platform is called NEUROCLIMA Dialogues. The e-learning platform is NEUROCLIMA Learn. And the playful interactive learning modules is NEUROCLIMA Play. Okay, so I hope this is not too overwhelming. This is just to say that there is also a lot of work happening behind the scenes for these tools to work. Here you can see the reference architecture of the solution that we have designed. I will not go into any gory details, just make a few high-level notes. So as you can see here at the left side, we have these applications that I just referred to. These are our front-end web applications. These are the tools that are accessed directly by our users, and they can interact with these tools. There is also one tool at the top here that I did not refer to. I will refer to this in a moment, the NEUROCLIMA portal. But just to say that all these background services and background work needs to happen mainly to support the operation of these two tools for information discovery, the Lens and the Bot applications. So in a first layer here behind the scenes, we have other tools like the search engine, and also a tool for knowledge graph semantic enrichment. We are working with knowledge graph to map out semantic relationships between the information we are managing. And also we have the background services that enable the functionalities of the chatbot. But also for this layer to be able to operate, we also need another layer, even more behind the scenes at a lower level, that is responsible for managing all the data of the system. And this is specifically, it is quite significant, because this is the raw material that we are using to offer the value to our users. So as you can see here at the far right, we have some external data sources that we will access and integrate into our system by some dedicated services. And I will go into a bit more detail on the types of data that we plan to integrate into NEUROCLIMA digital solution. So these are the main categories of data we are planning to support. So first, we have news items and reports in general. Then we aim to introduce policies and legal documents. The third category is about scientific publications and scientific data. We also plan to have statistical data and also data that can be extracted from social media or deliberation platforms, such as the one that we will be offering through our solution. Now, all of these data, they will be curated in the sense that we will selectively introduce data and integrate them into our system after making sure that we have reliable sources and validated sources for providing the data. And going back to this, just to refer to this top thing right here, the NEUROCLIMA portal. So this basically will serve as the main gateway to our solution. This is the current mock-up of the NEUROCLIMA portal. It will be the landing page essentially for our solution. It will be where our users will be expected to register or sign in to access the tools that we will offer. And of course, there will be direct links to accessing each of the tools that will be hosted behind this portal. And also this portal will provide access to documentation related to the operation of our solution, but also we will host documentation related to the toolkits that will be developed by NEUROCLIMA for non-digital contexts, such as the creative and artistic toolkits that Stefanos from IASIS referred to previously. First, we will have a look at the NEUROCLIMA Lens application. I will be talking about this. It is being developed by ITML, at least in the form of the front end or the user interface, but all the background functionalities, the search engine behind it, the semantic analysis and other types of analysis are being performed by our colleagues from Novelcore. So yeah, just to give you an overview of this application, this is what its main page will look like. As you can see, it is essentially a search user interface. It will allow users to perform queries within the NEUROCLIMA curated datasets and then retrieve documents. It will include some filtering options for the results that are returned, some options for sorting the order in which the search results are presented. For example, according to the relevance to the query of the user, the date of publication of the document, or according to the social impact of the document, which is what I referred to previously and something we are still currently investigating and planning to explore by using the concept of social tipping points. As you can see, the main part of this page presents a comprehensive list of the search results. The user can selectively open some of these for a preview individually. And then we will look at some more details in the next couple of slides, where for each document some additional information is presented. And finally, at the bottom here, you can see a depiction of the knowledge graph that is related to the specific search query that the user has performed. And this will help our users explore the semantic associations between the documents that have been returned from the search and help them understand better the relationships among themselves, but also the relationship to the topic being explored. Here we can see a focused view of the top part of this page. As you can see at the very top, there is a kind of prominent search bar where the user can type in certain terms using text to perform the search query. And then this part here is where the results are being returned. Initially, they are presented with a kind of brief overview with a title and a very short one-sentence summary, but they can be expanded to see some additional details in a preview mode, like tags or keywords, publication date, author of the document, a thumbnail. And then we also offer links to access the original document or access a summarized version of the document that we will be producing, and also a simplified version of the document that we will also be producing in our project and in our solution. This is, as I said previously, is especially relevant to legal documents and scientific publications. Then you can see here something we are considering to introduce, a way of ranking our results according to their social impact. This is still a matter of being explored, but the idea here is that the user can have an understanding of how impactful the information present in a certain document can be, especially for the topic being explored and searched. Then we also allow the user to provide rating for the individual documents, and also the possibility to provide a specific comment, a more detailed comment. The user can also store the individual documents in a list of favorites or bookmarks that can be then subsequently accessed from a dashboard. And here you can see a better view of the filtering options at the left side of this page. So we are offering filters related to the key areas or domain being explored. The tool will also offer filtering according to a date range, also according to location. And also, of course, the user can isolate specific types of documents like news, policies, scientific publications, and so on and so forth. And here you can see an enlarged view of the bottom part with a knowledge graph. So this will be an interactive presentation of the knowledge graph that the user can further explore. And finally, here you can see a more detailed view of a single document that the user will be able to open up if they select a specific document, where we have all the information presented in the preview, let's say, mode, but also some additional details like the executive summary, some other information, citation wherever this is relevant, or sharing options. And I think this concludes.
Hello everyone, I'm Prashasti. I'm from University of Oulu, Finland. I'm going to present NeuroClima Bot. NeuroClima Bot is a smart AI-driven conversational agent developed as part of NeuroClima solutions. It is designed to enhance decision-making and raise awareness around climate change adaptation. What makes it truly powerful is its combination of cutting-edge AI and a deep focus on needs of climate professionals. I will talk about the features first. I'm sorry. It supports multilingual conversational interface, allowing users to interact in English, Italian, Greek, or Portuguese with voice-enabled responses for greater accessibility. It offers natural language climate data search, so user can easily explore the latest climate news, policies, and scientific research papers. It features smart summarization and document linking, providing concise summaries and direct access to full articles and reports as recommendations or references. It also identifies social tipping points, detecting key leverage areas that could trigger major societal shifts in climate adaptation, which is crucial for strategic planning. Behind the scene, NeuroClima Bot is powered by advanced natural language processing, NLU, NLP engines, along with LLMs with a dual retrieval strategy. It basically is a combination of NAVRAC with a graph-enhanced approach for more contextually relevant and coherent results. To ensure the accuracy, it uses real-time data grounding, minimizing hallucination, and making sure responses are fact-based and reliable. And in terms of experience, it offers flexibility. Users can switch between simplified and technical language, basically readability, and copy responses, even listen to the answers through audio playback for full accessibility. And NeuroClima Bot includes user feedback tools as well, allowing user to like and dislike the responses. It also collects responses, feedback comments as well. And this feedback loop continuously improves the chatbot performance, ensuring the answers become even more accurate, clear, and useful over the period of time. And if you go to the impacts, what kind of impact NeuroClima Bot is going to provide is like NeuroClima Bot enhances informed decision-making by delivering actionable, evidence-based insights for climate adaptation planning. It supports journalists, educators, and policymakers by providing dynamic, real-time grounded knowledge. It complements tools like Perplexity by offering multilingual, context-rich answers grounded in real data, specifically based on the domain-specific climate domain. And it is tailored specifically for climate adaptation, as I was mentioning, making complex information accessible and actionable for professional audiences. So in short, actually, NeuroClima Bot is a specialized assistant, a smart, multilingual, trustworthy partner built to make climate information accessible, actionable, and immediate. I will just go to a demo. This is a prototype, basically. I think it's not. I'll have to share it again. I'm sorry for that. Okay, I hope this is visible. So this is a prototype, actually. You could see these functions like feedback function is there, which will basically give you, basically collects the feedback from the user once they're using it. It do have an easy reading and advanced reading option, basically the readability based on the readability. And options like you can select the languages. So if I query like this, like I'll give it what are climate changes.
While we're waiting for this to upload, Jennifer is asking whether the NeuroClima bot will use the same bank of sources or documents that are found in NeuroClima Lens. Will it be the same data sources? Okay.
Yes, we'll be using the same data sources, but in a different manner. Basically, we use in the conversational way. So this is a response generated. You could see that references are basically sorted based on the, the similarities and all semantic similarity. You can go through the references just on a click based. And you can see that social tipping point or leveraging point. This basically helps to understand how this strategy planning basically. And there is a feedback form always there that you can use. And as I was mentioning, you can use the audio.
Climate change refers to long-term changes in the average weather patterns.
There is a copy button. You can like and dislike it. And if you go, you can explore this. Basically, it integrates with the knowledge graph, which we are having. So if I'm going to ask. Okay, let me ask another question. You'd see that here the references are still there. You can just expand and see. So you have similar responses also over here. And you could see there's a social tipping point as well. And the knowledge graph, this kind of like integration with the knowledge graph that is already there in search engine as well. So this is kind of interactive one. Then if I go back. So one more thing I want to say is like, this is kind of like a session-based chatbot. There will be no profile information saved. The user profile information is not saved. This basically helps to maintain the GDPR formalities and all. So if you refresh it, it will basically go back to the initial landing page where you can select the settings and all. And I can show another question because I don't have an Italian question, but I will try to ask in English itself the same question. I could see that it is responding in Italian language. Unfortunately, I cannot read this. But yeah, so the thing is like there are facility to change the language setting, even the complexity of the response generated. That's also possible. So that's that. With this, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prasasti. This is great to see all the work that we've been doing behind the scenes, how it is actually translated into a chatbot.
We will present to you the product Deliberate of Novel Core, which will be used for the NEUROCLIMA dialogues purposes. Hence, I will give the floor to George Domalis from our team, who is the product owner of Deliberate, to do the presentation.
Great. Hi, George.
Hi, guys. Hi. Thank you, Yanni. Hi. I'm George Domalis, and I'm leading the product of Novel Core. And today I'm going to present you the functionalities that are going to facilitate. We're trying to facilitate the NEUROCLIMA dialogues through the Deliberate platform. Please confirm that you can see my screen, even in the slide mode, in the slideshow right now.
Yes, this is perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, great, thank you. So for NEUROCLIMA dialogues, we will use and we will integrate our platform, our deliberation platform. We call it Deliberate, and it's an AI augmented deliberation platform. This platform is offering knowledge-based deliberation views. So it's actually a social network that offers the basic functionalities of a typical social network that could be a user could easily access topics and add their feedbacks on this particular topic or a topic on interest. It's structuring the data and structuring the feedback on a smart deliberation monitoring approach, and it provides you with analytical framework to process the data and identify and extract knowledge out of it. At the core functionalities that Deliberate is being offered is focusing on data access. So there are a few integrations in terms of data set. We are integrating data from open source public consultations, such as the ones coming from Europa or the EU public consultation, from social media, from our own partnerships and from our own partners. And the second aspect of the core functionalities that are being offered is on the processing aspect of this kind of feedback. We process the data, we process the feedback, so to analyze the opinions of the people around the particular topic. So we're doing clustering, we're doing summarizations. We're extracting keywords and key phrases in semantically oriented approach. We do some sentiment analysis on the actual feedback, and there are plenty of functionalities around AI, and one that are being included right now is the one-click based AI summary that, based on a particular query of a user, it outputs you a generated report around the query. Some additional functionalities that are being also offered, it's around argumentation mining, it's around policy recommendations, so provides you reasoning around the queries and provide reasoning outputs to the policymaker. So to facilitate the policy recommendation, there is a dashboard in the hands of the policymaker to identify some basic analytics and numerical analytic, but also semantically related analytic. And there are several components around fact-checking, detect contradiction, AI-based moderation that facilitating the smoothly operation of the discourse, the smoothly operation of the discussion, and we identify toxicity, sexism, racism, so on and so forth. So this is a view of the analytics. In the context of the analytics, we are giving organizational type, we're providing country distributions, we're providing sentiment analysis related analytics, argument related analytics. And so in a manner, we provide some numerical values and some semantic oriented analytics, so the policymaker to be in a safe place, to be in an evidence to formulate a future policy or to continue in the next stage of deliberation based on evidence, based on the evidences of the existing discussion. And with no further delay, we have prepared the short video for you that provides you a quick walkthrough of the platform. So if that's okay, Christine, I will.
Sure. Yes, please.
I will start the video.
Every voice shapes policy through the power of AI-driven deliberation. As we navigate the homepage, you're seeing a dynamic feed of open deliberation topics. Behind this interface, our platform leverages AI technology to organize discussions semantically, helping users discover relevant conversations more intuitively. Here we're entering a specific deliberation on revision of the directive on driving licenses. Notice how our machine learning clustering algorithm has automatically organized public feedback into 3 distinct opinion clusters. When selecting a cluster, our solution presents the most representative comments and a concise summary. Our technology enables semantic clustering of arguments, aiding policymakers in understanding public opinion landscapes. Policymakers also have access to the raw feedback data, so they can always examine the original comments. The dashboard offers policymakers a comprehensive analytics view powered by our data visualization engine. Here you can track participation metrics, engagement trends, and emerging opinion patterns. Our sentiment analysis algorithms identify the most impactful feedback, while temporal analytics highlight shifting public opinions over time. The search functionality demonstrates our semantic search capabilities. Rather than simple keyword matching, we use vector embeddings to understand conceptual relationships. Searching for artificial intelligence will find discussions about machine learning or neural networks, even if those exact terms weren't used. When activating the AI summary feature, our extractive-abstractive summarization pipeline condenses hundreds or thousands of comments into concise insights. Now creating a new deliberation on the future of work. Behind this simple interface, our system is preparing a sophisticated discussion framework. As comments begin coming in, our real-time processing pipeline will analyze linguistic patterns to detect emerging topics, map argument structures to identify premises and conclusions, detect potential misinformation through factual verification modules, balance representation across demographic groups through our fairness algorithms. The topics section provides a bird's eye view of all active and past deliberations. Our analytics engine tracks engagement metrics across different demographics and geographic regions, helping identify which issues resonate with specific communities. Finally, the users section offers insights into participation patterns. Deliberate facilitates transparent and effective collaboration between citizens and policymakers, revolutionizing participatory democratic processes on a large scale.
So that was it. Thank you all, and feel free to provide our feedback in the relevant survey.
Thank you. So this is about NeuroClima Learn from climate literacy to climate leadership. We have this entire ecosystems of tools and platforms as an enhancement to the general public, to particular practitioners, to all functions that we know that they are the key players in this very well required social and econo-technical change that we are requiring, from climate leaders to climate leadership, that would need a lot of learning. So flexible learning in the leverage of all these tools, real world impact with an LMS platform, learning management system that makes courses to be creative tools for climate actions. So an entire ecosystem of state-of-the-art technologies empowering educators to be able to fruit the product of their effort in their sphere of action. And then just educators, just teachers, just university professors, no, all the spectra of people that orbit around dynamic action for climate, dynamic action for resilience against climate change and adaptation, align within and beyond, take the opportunity and are able to create host courses to bring them in their environment, in their sphere of their social network, in the sphere of their employment, the sphere of the community, to create together a climate resilient community. So that is NeuroClima Learn, one among the rest, an element that becomes a platform for everybody to be able to leverage these against his requirements. Now, how does it work? Engage minds, inspire action. As an element, it is a centralized learning hub. It has personalized learning paths delivered to its users with course categories, courses particular in a user-friendly interface with courses built in the leverage of the rest with gamification elements, mobile learning ready, and interactive communication tools. And then you bring your course, you have it already, you save your course, or you build it from scratch using the toolkits and the technology, and all of this together to produce the common goal for resilience and adaptation in climate change. So it will have flexible course authoring in the standardized format, so somebody will be able to ingest and also to export from the platform towards other platforms for his own professional and broader general use. Now, it will be a platform that leveraging the art toolkit, the NC Play will boost creativity and local actions that will be become global action and access audiences around the world. It will leverage from the chatbot AI to accelerate understanding with trustworthy recommendation and the lens to be able to produce the best from trustworthy sources into the course building process, sharing stories and building communities. We have the deliberation platform, Deliberate, that is also another element that empowers the learning procedures itself. And these two communicate, teach, and lead change. Educators, policymakers, journalists, everybody on the process. And why will it work? What are the success factors? It's tailored learning. So personalized climate literacy journeys for it and everyone. And then you can leverage from courses that others had produced and delivered to this platform. And then it's action delivered. It's not just knowledge. It is the product of all of this work that constitutes the NeuroClima elements about behavioral change and leveraging social tipping points. Creative art toolkits, the intention and the empowerment from the ecosystem. And then The value is to understand for citizens climate impacts locally and globally, because suddenly they are with a broadcasting channel for learning purposes as well in their hands. Policymakers can bridge the gap between public concerns as participants in this process. Businesses can cultivate sustainability skills or all other skills relevant to the adaptation and resilience to climate change mandates. And then educators and NGOs access a ready-to-use platform for awareness campaigns and training. So within and beyond, in a trustworthy centralized learning management system, NeuroClima delivers itself as an element within and over the NeuroClima capabilities.
So I'm here, basically I'm from IDEA, and I'm an instructional designer and project manager as well as IDEA. And I'm about to present to you NeuroClima Play, which is one of the integrated solutions that we're designing within the suite of technical components of the NeuroClima project. And what is NeuroClima Play really about is a set of interactive learning models that are self-paced digital models and that are basically aimed at engaging learners through storytelling experiences and through multimedia content. And some key features of the models are topic introduction on selected topics on climate change, learning objectives, learning content. It will feature also story, characters, multimedia elements, and fun quizzes. How can you then use these models as a teacher or as a learner or as a citizen, basically? As an educator, you can integrate these interactive storytelling models into your lesson plans as pre-class activities, discussion starters, or as take-home assignments. And you, as a learner, that now an adult learner or even a younger learner, you can by yourself, self-paced, explore climate adaptation topics on your own, on your laptop, or with an adult or with your peers. And while you explore these learning models, you can make choices through quizzes and get feedback on the outcomes of your choices. So I just prepared a quick demo video here. So you come on to, you start off on a start page where you click to start, and then you are taken into the learning objectives of the particular model. You're introduced to a character, and then you can explore the actual content or in terms of text or in other formats that would be implemented within the learning model. And then you can actually go through content, stories in form of stories, and interactive elements and multimedia elements within the model. And these are basically playful elements actually that the young learner would experience. These are characters as well discussing on a climate related issue. This is just basically a scenario. So there are various playful scenarios like this that would be exhibited. Most importantly, you can also click and review some certain facts about climate change issues and topics depending on the model that you're exploring. And then you can also get to learn more in form of this kind of embedded interactive video.
What each of us does in the world, how we
format.
live, does make a difference.
And
as we learn the value of clean,
you can,
safe water and
I'm
how
not going to
scarce
go
it
through
truly
the
is,
whole
we can
of
take
this video
steps to
because of
protect it
time.
and to get it to people who lack access today.
I'm just paused.
So here are some tips on.
Yes. So you can, this is just an add-on
how
of
we can conserve
extra
water on a
embedded
daily
content that you
basis.
can explore within the models.
Always turn taps off tightly so they do not drip. Promptly repair any leaks in and around your taps. One leak can waste several.
Okay, I'll stop that here. So you can then advance to a quiz section as well at the end of the module where you get feedback on if you get the right answer or wrong answer. And the quizzes come in multiple choice or single choice questions. And then you can review the quiz. You can also have a quiz in another format like this, which is like a mix and like a match, the right answer to the right box, kind of interactive interaction. And so these are basically the kind of experiences that playful experiences that you would have while going through the model, and you can discuss, you can at any point pause, discuss on the points shared within the model, get feedback from your students at any point. You can involve them in terms of a reflective journal. There are diverse uses basically for teachers and learners to actually explore the models. So that's really much about the models and how you can integrate them into your learning experiences. And yes, I would conclude here because of time. Thank you.
No, I said if you would like to make...
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, both the presenters and the participants, for contributing to an impactful event. It was the very first introduction of the NEUROCLIMA solution to a wider audience, away from our internal musings and internal team meetings. So thank you, everyone. I hope this will help us. The feedback that we have gathered will actually help us inform the solution and inform the tools that we are working on. Thank you, and we're looking very much forward to meeting you again, either in person in a workshop or online in another masterclass. Thank you again.